What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. I am talking about the jungle we call home. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Merv Barretto Show. Thank you for joining us as we do every Sunday. And when I say jungle, I mean jungle. Every Sunday we have the Merv Barretto Show live streamed from Goa, this place we call home, and I call it jungle. And today we're in the studio as always, and when I introduce everybody, I want to say a quick thank you to all our guys in the studio. As always, the one and only Mr. RJ Barretto.
Hey guys, another Sunday, another live show.
That sounds kind of boring, RJ. Another Sunday, another live show. Man, I was
Okay,
supposed to go buying bhaji in the market, but I'd rather be there. Come on, dude. Show a little bit of enthusiasm.
Okay, another Sunday, another fantastic live show, guys.
That's my man. Hey. We're missing the one and only Mr. Wilbert Cardoza, who is home. I don't know if I should be announcing this, and I'm sure he's listening.
Don't you do it, Merv. Don't you do it, mate.
Don't do it. He's pregnant. No, sorry. He's got dengue. He's got dengue. He's got dengue. He's not pregnant. Ladies and gentlemen, he's at home, and I feel bad for you. I'm sending you all our best wishes, Willie. I hope you get better and better soon. We're missing in the studio. Ajo is pressing all kinds of buttons.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is working.
Yeah, we're really missing him today.
We have got Mrs. Joanne Barretto in the studio. as always.
So speaking of the jungle, I'm thinking of the Lionesses who are playing Wales today, taking them on to get through to the next stage of the Women's Euros.
Who's the Lionesses?
What are you talking about? The England women's football team. They're
yeah.
called the Lionesses, 3 lines on the shirt. So they're taking on the Welsh football team, and they're hoping to get through to the next stage of the championship. So fingers crossed. Sorry to all my Welsh friends.
Does India have a team in there?
It's Euros.
Oh, okay. Lucky for you, love. I tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say a quick thank you to Mr. Yusuf Mataji, who's in the studio, who does all the editing, and Neil Rodrigues, who's just joined the team. Gentlemen, I appreciate everything all of you, every one of you do to contribute to making this happen. And as I always say, I sit pretty. I try to sit pretty. And I get all the credit, but it takes a team. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. Shoba Kolkar, who makes the tea in the studio. God bless you, Shoba. Thank you.
That's true.
Thanks,
Makes good tea,
Shoba.
huh?
A very, very integral part of this process.
The one and only Shoba Kolkar. I want to get off. I'm so excited. Listen, we've done a couple of shows already. And I'm excited. I'm very excited because I've got somebody who's very near and dear to me in the studio today. And we've worked together in the past, and we've hung out, and we've done a lot of mischief together. And I can't wait to get to talk to her. I'm going to introduce her in a little while, actually. I want to preface all of this stuff. Ajoy,
Yeah.
how's everything working out, mate? Did it come to plan, or are we missing Willie, or are we not missing Willie?
We're definitely missing Willie. It's been a learning process, but we are at least live on Facebook, on YouTube, on our Facebook page, by the way. The first time ever we're on our Facebook page. Thank you guys for following us on that page. Merv, take it away. You have to give thanks to what
Give him
people
a round
have
of applause.
Well done, Neil. Thanks for getting us there too.
So like I said, listen, I'm not big on social media, and I heard Ayesha mention it earlier. I don't do all of this kind of stuff. I'm lucky enough to get a response from an email you send me. The point is that I always like to give credit where it's due. We've been doing this show for a very short time, Yusuf's telling me to fix my shirt. Am I showing too much cleavage, Yusuf?
Don't worry about it. It's just the way the linen drops.
Yeah. Issa's looking in the wrong place, mate.
I want to say thank you to everybody out there that's been so kind, so supportive, for all the likes, the shares, the subscribes. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since we started, we are broadcasting on our Facebook page. The Merv Barretto Show Facebook page. If you want to tune in and broadcast, catch us stream the show live, we are going to be streaming. Are we still doing it on any other platform?
Right now we are on YouTube and Facebook on our webpage now. Sorry, the Facebook page, The Merv Barretto Show. We would love to be on Instagram, but unfortunately we are having a little bit of a problem today. But we'll fix it for sure. I promise you guys this. Next time, we'll be live on Instagram as well.
Well, we normally do it live every week on Instagram too, and the RJ page. But now we're live. Like I said, I started saying this and I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support, your love, the sharing. We've actually hit a specific target. Now we can broadcast live on the Facebook page. So if you want to get in touch with us, as always, this is a show. This is an interactive show that we broadcast every Sunday. And you don't have to be going. You don't even have to be Indian. Get in touch with us. You've got all the social media handles on the screen right now. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment. Any of the platforms. Show us some love. Like, share, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. You can get in touch with us. The easiest way probably right now is on the telephone, on WhatsApp. 7507-246-246. Again, 7507-246-246. Call us. Send us a message. We'll send you a link. You can come live on the air. Ask your question, make a statement, a comment, whatever you want to do. That's what we're all about. You're listening to the Merv Barretto Show, and we love, love, love the interaction. Okay, without further ado, I can't wait. I want to get this. This is they captioned her the Queen of Radio. I am a huge fan. I've been listening to her for a very long time. We worked together in the beginning for a short time and I had such a blast. I admire what she does. She is very, very good at it. She's a common name here in Go. Everybody knows her. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so thrilled to introduce the one and only Miss Ayesha Barretto.
Yay! It's not a common name, Mervyn. That's not a way to introduce someone.
I didn't say common as in a common name. No, the people that
very
live here in
well-known
Goa.
personality.
The one and only. Actually, you know what I meant, my darling.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't mean the name is common, but as an RJ, as somebody who is an MC, a compere, and an RJ, you are a household name. That's what I meant.
That's what you meant. I know that, Mervyn. That's why I spoke up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here. A little nervous. That was too much of an introduction from you, Merv. People I know should not be introducing me like that.
Yeah, but you know
People
what?
who know me as well as you do should not be introducing me like that.
This is like deja vu a couple of years later. We worked together.
Gosh.
We've done a lot of mischief together on the air at Indigo. She is an RJ on Indigo, and you can hear her. You can tune in and listen to her every morning.
Yeah.
From what time to what time?
7 to 12.
I'm so glad you're on the show. By the way,
I'm
ladies and
excited to be here.
you don't look anything like Felly Gomes.
What?
And at the end of last week, I introduced, I said, next week we're going to have Felly Gomes on the show. And Felly, in an emergency, had to leave to go to Spain.
Okay.
So I've been dying to speak to you, and I spoke to Axel last week.
Yes, that was an amazing show.
He's cool, dude. He's a
He's
really...
unbelievably awesome. We actually ran into each other and I said, big shoes to fill, dude. I don't know how I'm going to get this done.
No,
But
trust
he's
me, you'll
amazing.
be fine.
He's amazing. FYI, you're the reason I joined Indigo.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I do.
Believe it or
Funny
not,
story
guys.
to tell.
Believe it or not, guys, this is my first time seeing you guys like on a communications medium together. This is a treat for me.
Which means you never tuned into our show when we used to do it
I
together.
was in Bangalore.
He was away.
Yeah.
He's got more
Hello.
important things to do. Listen, we had an absolute blast.
Oh my God, we got ourselves in some trouble as well.
No, but that's what makes it interesting. And I'll get more into all of that later.
Yeah.
It makes it more interesting when you have personalities or personas that get along and they have a good time. And that's what people want to hear. At the end of the day, you
That's
need a
true.
release.
That's true.
You're not tuning in to be depressed.
Of course.
We had Axel on the show last night, and he performed. He was
Last
awesome,
week.
dude. Last week.
Yeah.
Uzo, the band, had put on a show, and he kept on put out a song called
Kalzan Petlo.
Uzo. Kazan Petlo?
Is the name of the song.
Uzo, right?
By the band Uzo.
So he kept on calling it KPU, and I wasn't thrilled. But he was awesome. And at the end of the show, I mentioned Felly. So Felly's going to be on another show. But I was
Felly's
so
awesome
excited.
Too.
I was so excited when you said yes. And I was so thrilled because there's so much I want to dig in.
Oh, my God. It wasn't an easy yes. I didn't want to actually, because this is unnerving a little bit. But
I don't know. I don't get it. I swear to God, you're a natural. You're so good at what you do.
Yeah, but she doesn't know what you're going to do next.
That's a good point.
Very good point, Joanne. Very good point. No, listen, dude. I see her and I listen to her. I don't talk to her all the time, but she is another great reason. So every week we do a show and we have a specific theme, and we want to talk about and highlight something that affects us all. Maybe as a role model, maybe as a problem that we can solve, or something we're trying to spotlight.
Yeah.
And last week was music, and why don't we have more huge names coming out other than after the Lornas and the Remo Fernandez and A26 and these guys? Why don't we have more? We've got such a rich heritage and a great culture.
Yeah.
Why don't we have more music personalities or more content, music songs, whatever? The song they put out is amazing, by the way. I'm sure you've heard it. Ayesha, you're a role model and you're very good at what you do. You do a lot of emceeing and comparing of shows and all, but primary focus is your show on Indigo.
yes.
And I wanted to spotlight not just journalism, not just RJs, not MCs, but how young people, not girls and boys, young people can get to where you are and do what you do. And since our topic last week was music, you've got the same background, by the way, as Axel, because you are a rock star too. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your career, what it takes to get there. And if somebody's listening and it can help them, this is exactly why we're doing the show. So I'm going to hand it over to you. I want to know what got you to where you are. Background, school, kid, growing up. How did you get to be so?
Well, it's a slightly long story, slightly funny in a way. When we were kids, our dad used to be sailing on the ship, and because there weren't that many people sailing at that time and doing what he did, and of course, there was no video calls, just a satellite phone, which was very expensive to call. So he wouldn't call very regularly. And what he would do was, every time he docked into any port anywhere in the world, he'd tune into a local radio station and record a song coming off a radio station there. And then he would interject his voice in between each song. And he would dedicate a song to my mom, to my brother, my sister, our dog, Rascal, which was his four-legged son, and me. And before listening parties became a thing, my mom, every time someone came off the ship, he would send it with them, and then they would post it to us, and mom would receive it in the mail. And then she'd come and say, oh, the cassette has arrived, and we only had one stereo system in the house. Have like a listening party where this cassette would be put into the player, and we'd hear dad's voice coming through. And that's where it started for me. I was like, I remember the first time I heard a dedication to me. The first song that I can remember, I'm sure there were more before that, was Pretty Young Thing by Michael Jackson, which was dedicated to me by my dad. At that point, I'm stumbling over my words, just such a emotional thing for me. At that point in time, it was just like, I thought my dad was in the stereo. I didn't understand the concept of a cassette and things. And I was just like, I want to talk out of the stereo too. And that's where it started from for me. So
your dad is a rock star. Mom and dad, you got to give them a shout out, dude. Tony and Vina. And listen, I didn't know that story, and that's so interesting, and I think that's so cool as a dad to be doing that, because it makes such an impression. It made you the girl, the woman you are, the lady you are, no? I
always wanted to do radio from the time I was a kid. I didn't really talk about it much. I think nobody knew that I wanted to do it. But as I grew up and I went to college, they didn't have courses for like mass media when I was studying, which will tell you how old I am. But they didn't have mass media courses. So as soon as I knew that I had to get my graduation under the belt, just because that was the done thing. But truth be told, I barely made it through my graduation. I barely passed. Only because I was like, how do I get into radio? That was my focus when I went to Bombay.
You knew this from a young age.
Yeah. So as soon as I got into Bombay, I was like, how do I get into radio? How do I put my foot in that door? And in my second year of college, that's when radio started to boom in Bombay. And we had a lot of private radio stations that were like looking for interns and talent. And there was a radio station called Go 92.5 in Bombay back in the day. And there was a guy called RJ Barretto, and I used to pretend that I was related to him. And I was like, yeah, my cousin Savio, I'm going to be like him someday.
And he wasn't related to you?
He wasn't related to me. So I just ended up interning at Red FM, Go 92.5. They were the closest to where I was staying at the time. And that's how it started, being one of the running girls that got coffee and water for on-air talent. That's how it started for me.
You weren't on the air at that time?
I wasn't on the air. It was just like behind the scenes.
Where'd you, so you went to college in Bombay?
In Bombay, in Sophia College, yeah.
You went to Sophia's?
Yeah.
It's so strange, and I spoke last week about the same thing. You've got so much talent. You've got so many people, such a massive population, and you can't encourage people like this. For example, you talk about journalism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Music, you talk about producing, you talk about all these things. With the culture we have, and we've had great people, Lata Mangeshkar and all the sitar players, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it. But at that time, you didn't have a course where you could actually learn. If you wanted to be an RJ, a DJ, a journalist.
Was no course as such. But of course, when I did come back to Goa and I enrolled at All India Radio, that was the only station available at that time. They did have a little training course of their own, which was like a 10-day program, learn how to use the console so that you don't press the wrong buttons. That was their course. That was it. And then cut to a few years later, I joined Big FM. Because that's when the private players came into Goa. That was a laugh in itself.
Why?
Because when I first joined them, I was promised a show in English, because English is my forte. And then they kind of shifted focus into doing Hindi music with Konkani speech. And you know my Konkani, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
There I was writing. I had books where I would sit and write my entire script, word for word in Konkani. But the problem was I was banking on other colleagues who spoke beautiful
Fluent
Konkani,
Konkani,
but they were from different parts of Goa. So my shift would suddenly script from like Shashti Konkani to somewhere else. Like, the dialect changes a little bit. So everyone would laugh, but I think that then became my USP on Big FM, which was like, what kind of dialect is Ayesha going to speak?
What is she going to speak like today? That's when I speak with a fucking English accent. All of a sudden, people don't understand a word I'm saying.
But it's entertaining. I'm not saying you're English or
Joanne
Scottish
gets so angry.
accent.
She gets so busy. What are you?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Who are you? Are you Irish? Are you Scottish?
He doesn't. It's not his forte either. But I think for you, it breaks the ice because
Yes.
obviously it's some point of interest, and obviously radio is so personal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so lovely about radio is because you're like talking into the mic, but you're talking into lots of people's homes and into people's hearts.
Absolutely.
And I think you reveal a lot when
Yeah.
you're just on the radio, and I think that's what's amazing. Why people really connect.
Yeah.
She got into it because of her dad. And I mentioned
love
that.
that.
Mom and Dad, you should shout out to Mom and Dad? Did
Yeah,
you say
shout
Mom
out
and
to
Dad?
my mom and dad. They've
Names, give me names. I know the names.
Tony and Veena Barretto.
And that beautiful sister of yours?
Anjali, the kids are tuned in.
Are they?
The nieces are tuned in. They were like, "Can we
Shout
come to the
out, come
studio?"
on, you have
they
to.
wanted to come to the studio, by the way, and I was like, "No, just too much of a distraction."
What are their names?
So there's Anjali and her husband Roel, and their two daughters, Anaya and Anya. So
Aha. Listen, I am a huge fan, by the way. I'm a huge fan of Roel. I've got to say this. I've bumped into him a couple of times. He's such a gem of a guy.
Yes.
And they make a perfect couple because she's also an absolute sweetheart.
I don't know how he managed to fit in with the Barretto madness, but he's done an ace job of it.
He's a rock star in my books. Roel, if you're listening, mate, I am a huge fan of yours. I haven't seen you in a while, but we're going to catch up sometime soon. You've got another sibling in the studio, and this is the only reason I'm here, by the way. I would have never done this show, or we would never have done what we're doing without the big fella.
The runt of the family.
Oh, that's so
Not
bad.
at all.
That's not so true. What the
So
black
untrue.
sheep of the family. You can't label yourself like that.
No.
If you're
You've
looking for
not met my
sympathy,
dad when I'm around him. You should come sometime. You'll know what I'm talking
Your
about.
dad
No,
is
he's
so
not the
cool.
runt of the family, not the black sheep.
If
of the
you're
family.
looking for shit, you're looking for sympathy, man. It's between shit and syphilis in the dictionary. You ain't getting it from me. I'll tell you that.
Thanks, Merv.
Absolutely. No, he's a good. Listen, like I said, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what we've spoken about this after the Indigo days, and a couple of people have said you got to do a show, and it's only because your brother. I don't know how many years has it been, Ajoy?
Since 2016, when you came up with the idea. actually.
Yeah, but we were doing it with Dale and Morris and all. We did it in the garage in Saligaon, and then we
I
decided.
remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Setting that up.
The room with the bottle room, I used to call it.
And then I'm sitting there online doing how to do a radio station, how to monetize a radio station, paying $200 to do some online course. And
We did a couple of shows in that little room there, Merv.
We did a show there. We did a show on. Joy, where did we record the show with Ayesha the last time I interviewed her?
That was at the Herald TV studios.
That's right.
So we've done so much.
funny,
Oh my
dude.
God, that was hilarious.
Yusuf, you've got to take all this content. I swear to God, we did a show at Maracas.
Oh,
with
yes.
Ayesha. We did recorded that. I interviewed Ayesha probably 10 years ago, whatever it is. I want to put this on the website.
No, please don't.
You know what? I'll pull it up. I'll try and pull it up while you guys are talking. So bear with me.
Dude,
Oh
that
my
is a
God, that was
riot.
hilarious. Oh.
That was another interview I did with Ayesha. She's always been so sweet. She's always, if I need something, I call Ayesha. She's there. We did an interview at the studios,
Yeah.
and as a promo for something, I don't know what it was. I want to get back into this. I think it's so cool that you wanted to get into your field because of your dad and how he came out of the stereo.
Yeah.
You have been doing this for a while.
I have.
You
Been
put in the time. Yeah.
21 years.
Many different radio stations,
Yeah.
many different places, but you actually, like I said last week, you put in the time and effort. You from the bottom of the serving teas and coffees to where you are today.
Yeah.
I want to know. We talk. I'm not going to ask you about your background in school. I ask every guest that. But if anybody's listening, any youngsters listening, and they know Ayesha and they want to be an RJ, a compere, or whatever.
Oh my God, he pulled it up.
Oh my God!
I'm so sorry.
Check
Just
this
blast
out.
it
Oh
in
my
there.
God.
You know what, you guys? I'll set it
Please
up.
do not put this up.
I'm so sorry. The
This is
audio.
high dollar, baby.
Oh, yeah,
This
I'm
is
so
big time.
sorry, he says. Yes.
No,
Just throwing us both under the
you
bus.
finish what you
Merv.
guys are saying, and then we'll bring this up.
Oh my
All
God!
right.
Please don't bring this up now.
You see that
Did I
green
have hair
thing
there?
there was for a green screen, remember?
Yes, that was to put some sort of branding on there.
Oh my God!
Please don't do this. Please don't do
We
this.
will
Do
come
it.
to
I
it.
don't.
You
We'll
had
come
some
to
great
that.
shoes on.
You guys continue.
That was the only thing I had going in that.
She had some shoes on, boy. She could have been a weapon. Those big heels she had
Yeah,
on.
because I didn't know if y'all were going to be standing, sitting, what was going to happen, and I didn't want to look like a short stick next to.
You've been doing this a lot of time. You put in the time and effort,
Yeah.
and you've gotten to where you are. If somebody young is listening out there, and they want to do the same thing. This doesn't happen overnight, Aish. This
For
is
some people, it does. For you, like you walked in, and you honestly, I always said you were made for radio, and it's not. I've always said this to you before. You came in. I mean, I joined Indigo because of you, and that was a funny story in itself. But you walked in. You also walked into Indigo on a whim. Just decided you'd never done radio before, and you just fit. You were made for radio.
It's so funny because the backstory to that, we were driving down the street one day, Joanne and I and we were
remember
going
that.
somewhere, and I told you they were advertising for an RJ on the radio, and she said, "Oh, I bet you wouldn't do it." Blah blah blah. I said, "I bet you I will," and I got the job, and I'd never ever trained to use a console, the sliders, the buttons. I remember Adwait running into the show one day and saying, "Your mic's on, your mic's on."
And you probably knew it.
No, I didn't. I was never. That's not my forte. I can talk for England.
And that's the thing. Somebody one day called me up. So I'd taken a break from Big FM and I'd not done radio for a while. And somebody called me up and said, "Have you heard this new guy on radio? He's insane." And I was like, in a good way or a bad way? He's like, in every way possible. So I tune in and I hear Merv, and it was just, I was hooked from the moment I first tuned into his show. And can I tell the funny story?
Tell the story.
Yeah. So
I don't know what story, by the way.
So he says something on air. I can't remember what it was. And I was listening. And I was driving to an event at the Taj at that time. And I called. And he's like, "Oh, if you have anything that you want to get across, call us in on this number." And I pick up the phone and I
Look at
call
those
Merv.
pictures.
Stop it. I pick up. Without thinking, I called to the radio station. And I was like, "Hey, you said this. But you could have said this and it would have sounded better." And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, "I don't know this man." I'm correcting him on a radio show that he's doing. And he's like, he just took it in his stride. And he said, "You seem to know what you're doing. I have no clue about what I'm doing. Can you come and meet me? I'm about to sign my contract. And I'd love somebody else's perspective on what I'm getting myself into." And I was like, "Really? Okay, fine, sure." So I'm driving to my event, and I told Merv that all over the phone. I said, "You know what? I'm headed to an event, but maybe..." And he's like, "No, but I have to give this in tomorrow." So I said, "Okay, maybe on my way back from the show if it's not too late." And he's like, yeah, we're up late and this and that and the other. And I think at about 11:30 at night, I walked into Kantare.
That's right.
And then it was just the two of you and Morris. And I remember I've reached the final step at the top and it's just clicked. I don't know these guys. My parents don't know that I'm going to meet these guys. They do something to me, nobody's going to know. But
Nobody would ever know.
yeah, and I was just about to turn and like run back down the stairs, and Morris was behind the bar, and he said, "Are you Robert Albuquerque's granddaughter?"
I swear to God, that is a God's honest truth. You know?
I'm serious. And the thing is, my granddad, that's my mum's dad, passed away before I was even born. So there's no like picture of us together that somebody could have associated. So I was just like, how do you know my grandfather? And then it just like a Pandora's box that opened.
And he said, by the way you walked.
By the way,
You walked in there.
Yeah,
So
wow.
this is a God's honest truth.
Yeah.
She was so sweet. I had been on the radio, like I said to you. I wasn't kidding. And
I
you
don't
can
know if it
still
was sweet
tell.
to call you and correct you about something you said.
All good. And I needed help with a contract, and she was kind enough. She didn't even know who the hell I was. I could have been a murderer. She showed up to help me, and the rest is history. We
Yeah.
worked on the show a couple of...
And then, of course, we got to know that our families go way back.
They do.
Yeah.
My parents, her parents, grandparents knew each other. Just, you know, God brings people together. It's just strange things that happen.
That's true.
And it works out so strange and so differently. But there's a plan at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Aish, you've put in the time and the effort. You got to where you're going
Yeah.
because of all of that. No matter what happens at the end of the day, you're doing something that you're so passionate about. Why do we not have more Ayesha Barrettos? Why do we not have, in the States, by the way, DJs, RJs are revered. They're like huge rock stars and celebrities. People worship the ground they walk on.
Yeah.
They're outside the studios with signs and they want signatures and autograph. And these guys deserve it. They put on a hell of a show, entertain people. Why don't we have more of that here in Goa or in India with such a huge market? And now with the age, everybody and their uncle's got a car.
Yeah.
Everybody's listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Why don't we have more personalities or celebrities like that are on the radio?
I mean, you do have a lot of celebrity RJs, as they're known as. But that's also because they're in the TV space, they're recognized. And me and social media just don't go together. I'm not someone who's, clicking 1,000 selfies and putting myself. I don't like that. Some people do it, and I respect and admire them for it, but that's just not my cup of tea. And I think, yeah, there are celebrity RJs that do have that fan following. People will recognize them the moment they walk into a room. But that's because they built their brand that way. Again, I've not put in the work. I have a very good friend that used to always tell me you could be so much bigger if you put in that effort behind your social media. But again, that's not my thing. But yeah, sadly, the studios, they don't have that fan following. Like you said, people standing outside with placards.
They don't.
Yeah.
And it drives me up a pole. Like, I didn't get any professional training. I made so many mistakes because I was hired. There was nothing really going on. They didn't have an alternative. Probably nobody else showed up. And I went in there and I just realized I've grown up.
Yeah.
Like I said to you, I've grown up with RJs. We had Howard Stern. We had Nino Grismanelli in DC on DC 101. Grew up, and everybody, we've got rush hour traffic in the States. You
Yeah.
spend a lot of time on the radio.
Of course.
People tune in every day and it becomes like your family, right?
Exactly.
We've got the same thing here, and now with technology, this day and age, with cars, everybody seems to have a car nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a captive audience here in Goa.
Yeah.
We speak English.
Yeah.
We love our music. We've got a huge, rich cultural heritage. We got a lot of musicians, blah blah blah. Why, as the only English radio station, you mentioned Big and all these other radio, I don't know any
Yeah.
of these other ones. I've listened to Indigo, but when I went on there, I was thinking to myself, you've got so much potential as the only English station in a place where everybody speaks English and loves their music, boy.
Yeah.
Why can't we do something more here in a small little market like Go with Indigo, for
Yeah.
example, right? You've got everything set up.
Yeah.
You've got the audience listening. I remember Adwait was the station manager.
Yeah.
And who's the second guy?
Ashwik.
By the way, I haven't seen him. Ashwik was Adwait was such a gem. He was so patient and whatever.
He really was.
And I always said, if you've got people, and little by little people started tuning in,
Yeah.
and people want to get into it. You don't have school, you don't have classes. People don't really train to be an RJ. Journalist, yes, all around the world you can be a journalist on CNN and all these big stations. Is that the reason? Because you don't have that larger market. You've got Bombay and all the Bangalore and all
Yeah.
the big cities where they've got these big radio stations. Why don't they encourage, for example, here on Indigo, more talent, training, get more? You've got, people can speak, can't they?
They can. But I think it also, I think for me personally, what I've realized along the way, it also takes a lot of laughing at yourself and the jokes that you make and the stupidity that you put out on there, which a lot of people, I don't know if they can do. I've learned to laugh. Like, I remember once I went on air and the button just flew out just as I pressed it. And for that entire link, I just laughed. I laughed at my luck in the studio. A lot of people, yes, they can talk, but somehow when you put them behind a mic, it doesn't translate. I don't know how else to explain it, but it just doesn't translate. I don't think that I can say that I've done X, Y, and Z to kind of train myself to be where I'm at today. It's just something I've been wanting to do since I was a kid, and it's just come naturally.
But I think because it was your passion
Yeah.
and your personality, and I think because of that, you absolutely thrive in that environment, which is absolutely fantastic. Whereas from other people, it's like shoehorning them into that scenario, and they become a fish out of water, rabbit in the headlights, and they freeze.
That's true.
Whereas, like, you know, for you, it became very natural. And I just love the story that your dad inspired you. I mean, what a creative way to keep in touch with your family. I think that's just absolutely phenomenal. You know, before the time of social media, before we could do WhatsApp calls and
Mobile
Skype
phones.
calls and all of those things, it's just amazing.
Absolutely.
But I think, Mervyn, also as well, it's really challenging these days because the advertising market has to keep a lot of these media outlets alive.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's ever diminishing returns, and it just depends on where you are in the world, whether you've got like those deep pockets and you've got those people that will spend on advertising
Absolutely.
to keep you rolling.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you, you've got a captive audience here in Go that loves to hear music, dedications, requests. They want to play whatever they want to play. And when I was on there for a very short time, one thing that I didn't like as much was the fact that we were controlled and told what to do. You had specific things you could do and you couldn't do. But at the end of the day, with people doing what they do, or that people are so passionate about music here, you've got to cater to them, right?
Yeah.
So if something you're doing is working, let people do more of it.
Absolutely.
You can play radio all day. You can play all the songs. You can keep people entertained all day. But there's a reason that around the world, podcasts, shows, RJs, segments are so popular because people have a mind of their own, and that's what they cater. That's what they what's the word they wanted. They gravitate to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You could do that, and we did that here, and we saw the results. And all I was saying at the time for Indigo, let us do our thing, but you need to monetize it better.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you can take the ears, the eyeballs, not the eyeballs on the show, but the people listening, and monetize that. You can have the big names that want to advertise during those segments, but generate revenue. Don't just be open to take everybody and their uncle and keep the rates low.
Yeah.
Monetize it and do what you can. But you could be a success.
Yeah.
You'd make the perfect station manager, not just because you're an artist.
God, no.
I swear to God, dude.
No, money, me, and like figures and sales, that's not my thing.
No, but it's not the people who do the work, it's those who get it done.
Yeah.
Barack Obama had a huge team around him. He didn't know all the answers, but he put the right people in place.
True. That is true.
To make the station, for an example, Radio Indigo, which has been around forever, you just need the right one person who's the central part of the cog in the wheel.
Yeah.
And you put the right people in place, train them, teach them how to sell, advertise, market. Let the radio station do what it does best because you're the only one. There's no competition.
That's true.
So it drives, anyway, whatever. That's a long time ago, and that's a different can of worms. Aish, you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
You do a lot of comparing too for weddings and shows and all.
Yeah, I've always been very intrigued by people, and anything that can keep me connected to people. I think I thrive when I'm hearing people's stories, living through what they're telling me. So for me, it's always been, how do I connect to people? So radio was one, events was another, and it's been great. I love emceeing because I get to see so many different things happen. Like the other day, I did an event it was a corporate event for Philips, and I went in thinking, oh, Philips, the light bulbs, and they're doing cardiovascular equipment, which is like tiniest little cameras that you can now insert through it. And I was just like, whoa, it opens, for me, it's not just work and it's not just earning, it's learning along the way. So
I love that. I got to give you a round of applause, by the way. You're never too smart or never too old to learn something new, and I love that. I want to use that, Audrey. I want to make sure we highlight that. People out there listening, everybody thinks I know all the answers and you can't tell me anything. I love the fact that people are still in this day and age with tech and social media, they're still willing to learn.
Absolutely.
Can I tell you, I've just realized one of the things that makes this so hard to do what you do with these events and weddings is you've got to be quick on your feet.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to speak. You've got to be able to read a room. But you've also got to be able to get up and have people stare at you and watch you on a mic.
Yeah.
Potentially make a mistake or make an error, whatever. But it takes a specific person. And I'll give you a quick example. The other day, these guys were asking us, we need to do a promo. Joanne was recording me because I had to do a promo. And you put it out, and it was just perfect. Hey, this is Ayesha Barretto, blah, blah. And it's perfect. And here I am trying to figure out what I'm going to say. And I'm awkward like that.
Because you don't want to be scripted, that's why.
Yeah, you turn me loose and let me go, baby. I got to feel good.
I can't do well with a script, Merv.
But you're good at it. Getting up, I've heard you on the radio. I've seen you at weddings or events or whatever. It takes a specific person. So that's not for everybody. But if you encouraged people, like we spoke about last week, to play instruments in school, you encourage it in school. You have a media course. You have a DJing course. Do the stuff that makes you topical. Like today, the generation today, we've got AI and tech and all these things. And you can change the fuddy-duddy ways in which you teach in the schools.
No, but I also believe it's something that can't be taught. It's something that you cannot. And I'm all for progress in terms of technology and things, but it is dumbing down the future generations. It's not getting them to think on their feet, like you said. Having everything written out for you, like just going to ChatGPT and getting them to just key in a few words, and then it's given you this huge thing that you. It really is dumbing down the future generations because it's not getting them to think on their feet. I remember having to sit and write essays, which we all did, but it really made you think. Like, how do you stretch this out? And like a 450-word essay or a 500-word essay, how do you write it all on your own?
Other than writing it really big. Yeah.
That too. But I think it's also having the right people in your life at the right time, meeting the right people. Like I remember coming to intern on your show before I got my own on Indigo. Even for me, when I was at school, oh gosh, Ajay's playing.
I'm really
He's
sorry.
just teasing
I'm
me.
just trying to get
trying
this
to
video.
throw me under the bus with that one.
No.
No, but I remember like back in school, like I had really amazing teachers that saw the potential in me, which I didn't realize at the time was what it was. Like I had a teacher Connie, teacher Christine, teacher Vanitha, Sarita. I remember when I was in the 4th standard, I hosted our entire school concert without a script. Wow. And that's because they put me on the stage and they said, you can do it. We're here to help you. So I think it's just right people at the right time. I can't take complete credit for, I did this and I did that. It's just everyone along the way. Like they say, it takes a village, right? So
it takes a village. And listen, take nothing away. And sometimes it bothers me because you're very modest. You hate the spotlight, whatever.
Hate it.
You deserve every bit of success and every bit of acknowledgement that you have because you put in the time and you do what you do. It's not for everybody.
it's not.
And everybody can't do it. But you do it and you do it well. The fact of the matter remains, if you have some kind of grooming and some kind of learning or some kind of encouragement, change with the times.
Yeah.
Joanne, you go crazy when you hear about people sending messages and responding using ChatGPT and sending letters, and it drives her mad because people have stopped having to think.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like it when people use it to enhance what they're doing,
Yes.
but not just to totally rely on it.
Exactly.
Because you're kind of, it's like your brain, you're just kind of advocating your brain to something else, and it's just one of those things where, even like for school things, I used to think people learning by rote.
Yes.
It used to drive me crazy that people would think like that, because you have to encourage and nurture people to think differently, think creatively.
Absolutely.
And it's even about learning styles. I remember like in doing training, because I was in advertising and sales and marketing for so long. I did so many courses and I used to love it. I used to get all enthusiastic at the start and then a bit depressed in the middle because I think, I'm not so good at this. Yeah. But then because you're nurtured and you have to start thinking.
Absolutely.
And that's what I absolutely love, that when you can actually think for yourself and then you start thinking on your feet and you become very, very agile.
Yeah.
Indians are some of the most resilient people in the world. There's people everywhere around the world. We're so resilient. And you come up against obstacles. You come up against obstacles all your... We were taught, don't let anything stop you.
Yeah.
If you want to put your mind to doing something, like
Yeah.
you said, you get your butt out there and you work hard and you study. Listen, I've spoken to Mark Seagraves about sports. I've spoken to Axel about music. I spoke to so many different people. Yes, there's the opportunity, there's the luck, there's the lightning strike, lightning in a bottle, but it takes a lot of work and effort.
Yeah, that is true.
In every successful example of somebody who's reached the pinnacle, the top of what they do, they've started off at a young age, they've worked their butts off, their parents encouraged them, they practice, whether you're a musician, whether you're a football player, you're a sports person, you're an RJ, you're whatever. You don't have that, and we're losing. Our schools are so outdated right now in Goa. It's scary and it's sad.
Yeah.
Because when I was speaking last week about music and encouraging people to play an instrument, we grew up with that.
Yes.
To be a successful sports person, whether you were playing soccer, you were playing any sport, you get farmed from a really small, at the Pee Wee leagues.
Yeah.
And you grow into it, and you go to high school, you go junior high school, college, and you get picked for the pros. But you put in all that time to get to where you are.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have those facilities, and we're so focused on everything else.
Yeah.
You mentioned teachers.
Yes.
They're some of the most important people.
Because the kids spend so much of their time with them, and if they don't pick out what the kids are good at a young age, then who's going to do it? Because they see the potential, because they're spending so much time with the kids at such an early age. And I think that's one thing I've always wished for with the education system, is to play to kids' strengths. Figure out what they're good at. Like, I know one of my nieces, she's really great at art, she's really good at food, at cooking, and that's where her passion and her interest lies. But she has been forced to learn things that I bless her. I mean, she's really putting her effort into it. But there are things that just, I mean, I wish there were schools that would teach kids the basic life skills, how to change a light bulb, how to
cook a meal,
how to cook a
survive.
meal, change a tire,
Yeah.
things that will really last them in good stead in the long run of things. But no, it's being, Hindi, Konkani, force it on them, make them learn it. I mean, I think back to when I was in school and learning algorithms and geometry. I don't apply that into my life at all. Like basic math, yes, I need that. But other than that, unless you're setting out to become a mathematician, which just don't use those things.
We studied trig and all these hard subjects.
How much of it do you remember?
None.
Yeah.
Sine, cosine, tangent or something.
Maybe these boys think
Yeah.
behind the computers remember more than I do.
Well, you wouldn't be here if you did.
Listen, by the way, if you're listening out there, you're listening to the Merv Barretto Show. Guys, we are not encouraging anybody not to study, and in the school
Yeah.
and college is very important, because you can't survive in this day and age without an education.
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, I think what's really nice is when you can kind of move on to the next steps is tapping into people's learning styles.
Yeah.
Whether they're a creative thinker, they're an analytical thinker, because that's one of the points I was going to make. Doing a training course whereby we used to have to pitch to all different types of people, like from CEOs, media execs, that kind of thing. And we had to kind of try and find out, how do we tap into them? Are they a creative thinker?
Yeah.
Are they an analytical person? Do they want to see loads of graphs? Or do they want to see, this is what the ad will look like at the end, that kind of thing. But learning styles and tapping into how people tune in to what you're doing and also to get the best potential.
Absolutely.
And I think your sister also probably did a lot of stuff like that in Setu, is that right?
She did. Yeah.
Because that taps into that, doesn't it? How kids can learn and get the most out of
Yeah,
things.
and I love the fact that they have a program where they're training teachers in different schools, even in government schools, on how to recognize kids that need a little more help, a little more assistance.
Brilliant.
Which is great.
Differently abled.
Yeah.
Listen, you mentioned Setu. We give them a shout out. Anjali Barretto, a huge shout out for all the stuff you guys do.
Absolutely.
If you've never heard about Setu, it's an organization we need to be very, very proud of and highlight here in Goa, because they do something that's so important. We're talking about the next generation and having successful people. These guys provide, and here again, we're talking about teachers and educationists. What's the word?
Educators.
What they do at Setu is amazing. It helps so many people. And you're talking about getting them into schools, into more schools, training people. That's what you're missing.
Being so inclusive.
Inclusive, but and also the fact of the matter is you're going to have so many different types of children. But guess what? Those children are the future.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking care of them and farming them and teaching them and encouraging them from a young age, you've got 60 kids in a class, you can't focus on them, and nobody gives a crap about it. You dump your kids off at school every morning, go and do your thing, and you come and pick them back up. But that creates, like you mentioned, all those teachers, and I love that, by the way, Aish. You gave a shout out to some of your teachers. These guys, these people, these men and women dedicate. It's noble what they do.
It is. It's actually a thankless job that they do.
It is, but you're shaping the future, right?
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you're going to make these little ones grow into the big ones that are going to teach the next generation.
Yeah. And I wish more schools had that. Teachers that can actually see. There are some just in it, and I mean, it breaks my heart. Some of them are. I remember there was somebody teaching Portuguese and to a kid that I know, and they were just so cut and dry about it. And when the kid wasn't able to grasp Portuguese as a subject, they were just yelling and screaming. And how is that going to make the kid learn better? It's actually going to turn them off it.
Correct.
So, you know, it takes a
come
special
to hate
person.
it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes a special person to be able to nurture and get a kid to.
That also comes back to the training of educators, by the way, which is
also
really, really important. I don't think our guys here in Goa focus on that, or in India focus on education. It's a thankless job, like you mentioned.
That's true.
If you're not going to have the best educators to teach the children of your future, what progress are you going to have? I don't understand how it's going to help the future. We've got our priorities. We talk about this all the time. I'm not going to get into the politics and all this BS. But yes, teachers, doctors, these people provide such important roles, jobs that we need, that we can't do, that if you don't focus on properly, you will never be a successful country, a state, or a country, because it's something that you throw in the background. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, they're teachers. They'll take care of the kids.
Yeah.
What were some of your biggest obstacles, by the way, growing up as to be an RJ and stuff, other than?
Well, again, I want to give a shout out to my parents, because I think when I said, you know, I want to do media, I want to become an RJ, it was still so unheard of, and everyone was focused on doctor, lawyer, engineer, that kind of thing. And I know my mom, for a fact, had a few questions to answer from the family at large as to, really, career choice, RJ, what is that? And big shout out to my mom. She did sit me down and say, okay, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because of course at that time there weren't options, and how are you going to make a living out of this and all of that. And that has also been a question that I've had to field quite often all these years. Is there money in radio? So I think it also boils down to how you come at it and how you want to do it. So yeah, I've totally sidetracked from what you asked me, but I just want to say that
obstacles. You're talking about obstacles. What are you doing, man? Are you trying to?
No.
Joyce being an obstacle right now.
He's being an obstacle. I'll tell you what's a freaking obstacle. Wilbert's trying to tell me to look into the camera, Merv, and you're looking away. And Andre's got all this stuff playing in my ear right now. The point I'm trying to make is you've got rock star parents. Tony and Vina, hats off to you. But that's what it takes as educators, as parents, to do something a little bit different from everybody else.
Yeah.
And this is what the result is. Your mom and dad were probably worried because you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Indigo, at that time, they paid us a salary, but it wasn't enough for me to fill my Scorpio to come back and forth to Panjim. You're doing this because it's a passion.
For me, it is.
You do a lot of the stuff you do, and you've made it. You've been successful, but you've made it work for you. And we spoke. I asked you about the obstacles, but even going forward, if somebody wants to get into journalism, other than go to a big city to study in college, we don't have that here.
We don't have that here. We don't have, and I think that's just the way the society is built, in the sense that they'll always tell you, oh, if you move to a tier 1 city, which is like a metro, like a Bombay, a Delhi, a Bangalore, you can command the money you want if you're good. And if you're in a tier 3 city, which is what Goa is classified as.
Tier 3?
We're tier 3.
Give them one Tier 3.
Tier 3.
By the way, guys, this is a special occasion. We have a live video caller.
What?
Apart from Joanne calling in. Yeah, we do.
Oh my gosh, let's
you know
get
what?
to it.
So we're going to get to this, right? Wait a minute. One second. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise. One second. You know what? Hang on. I'm going to patch you guys in. Just continue your conversation. I'm going to patch you guys in.
Listen, who is Aishwarya calling me?
Oh my God, it's my nieces.
But they can't see you. One second. I'm going to...
Are these your nieces?
Yeah, that's Anaya and Anya.
Oh, how
Hi,
cute.
guys.
They were like, when I was heading here, Oh, I can hear them. Hi.
Hi, you guys. We got to give them a round of applause. Wow. Anaya and?
Anya.
And Anya. Hi, Anya and Anaya. When your uncle figures out how to get the software up, we can see you and you'll be able to see us. And that's the next generation. Aish, we're talking about obstacles. We're talking about tier 1 to tier 3.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever all said and done, your mom and dad had a vision and let you guys do what you want to do and mold you and make you.
There we go. There we go.
There they go.
Guys, you're
Focus.
alive.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
Now, which one's Anaya and which one is?
So the Anaya's on the left, and
Hi,
that's
Anaya.
Anaya, and the younger one's Anya.
Hi, Anya.
Hi.
Are you watching your Auntie Ayesha on the radio? On the radio. On the
On the show,
On
on
the
the
Merv
Merv Barretto
Barretto
show.
show.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, you guys. I'm really excited about this.
That's really sweet. You know what? We're talking about the next generation. You guys, I want you to ask a question, or I'm going to ask. If you don't ask me a question, I'm going to ask you a question. But I want to ask you, what is something that your aunt does, your Aunt Ayesha does, that makes you so proud? Anaya first, or Anya first?
Okay, I'll go first. Aisha is a very, very helpful person, and she cares about everybody. She sacrifices her time and everything just to help in a way. Like I've called her on multiple occasions to help for help with like an assignment or anything, and she'll sit with me and everything, and she'll help find anything to help me.
I like Aisha because she's very friendly with dogs. So when I'm at her house, I'm very scared of all the dogs there. So she helps me come out and touch them and all that. I'm not scared at all because I know she's there and all.
You guys, I'm so, you know what? That is so cute. I love that. I love that about you too and your answers. But that's Ayesha as Auntie Ayesha, yeah? I'm going to tell you something that makes me so proud. I've known your auntie for a while, but she is so good at what she does as an RJ. You've seen what she can do, yeah? You can hear her every morning, right? What do you guys, does that not make you guys want to do something? Does that not make you guys want to do something than the normal lawyer, doctor, career choice? Mom and Dad, Roel and Anjali. And Mom and Dad strict, by the way. Are your mom and dad strict?
Mom and Dad?
Yeah.
Mama, they're both even-minded. They can be strict. They can be
You
fun.
guys, I can't hear you. Get closer to the phone.
Behavior.
What are your mom and dad?
They're both equally, I heard.
Equally strict, yeah?
Yeah, it depends on our behavior.
Depends on their behavior.
Depends on the behavior. It's nice. It's nice that you've got nieces. You guys you're talking about Auntie Ayesha, and I'm a huge fan because she has worked so hard and she's done what she's done to get to where she is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear Ayesha just at her peak, she's on the radio every morning. She does her show. But you guys, as a role model, not as an auntie who gets you out of trouble and lets you pet the dogs, by the way, which I think is cool. This is, for example, this is somebody in your family that's doing really well. Anya, would you ever want to be an RJ, Anaya? Would you ever think about that as a career choice?
I'm not comfortable at all on stages, so I feel like that's not for me. I'm not big on talking in front of crowds. So not for me, but
No?
I love
She's
watching
an amazing
Ayesha do it.
artist. And
She's the artist,
great.
yeah?
She's great with food as well.
See, but you've got a talent of your own, by the way. I heard you're a very good cook and you're a brilliant painter artist, yes?
Yeah, I've done a couple of stuff.
Don't ever sell yourself short. You do what you do and you're good at that you love doing, okay? What about the other little munchkin? Is she going to be an RJ like Auntie Ayesha?
Maybe depends on what I do. Depends.
This one's multi-talented. I think she could be an actress.
Ah, there you
She
go.
could be an actress.
My gosh, the drama, guys.
That's not Merv, that's Alejandro,
but that's a talent. That's talent. I do agree.
Listen, I tell you what, it takes the skills to pay the bills. And if you young ladies have it, more power to you. I'm a big fan of your Auntie Ayesha and what she does and how well she does it. I'm still asking her questions about how young people, small, younger age boys and girls like you guys could learn a lot more, how the times have changed, but we need to be able to encourage you guys to think outside the box, your parents to think outside the box and encourage you to do things that would normally seem not. They want you to have safe careers, to pay the bills, get married, and have a husband, and blah, blah, blah. But you guys have to be able to think and do things. Now with technology, it opens up so many doors.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You've got so many people listening to you, where every day on the radio. What are some of the Indigo's a big station. You've got a station in Bangalore?
Yes.
And Indigo Goa?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you would we have people advertising or willing to advertise on the radio show.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest improvements as a station manager for Indigo that you would do to catapult to bring it a lot more to the forefront and be more successful?
I mean, for me, I understand that their policy and their programming viewpoint is more music than talk.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the big connection lies with the people. It's the conversations. It's the ability to have a little bit of leeway on like you would remember.
Oh, yeah.
They would always say links at 45 seconds, 1 minute at the
can't
max.
change anything, Mervin.
By the way, Merv, do you want the callers to stay online, or do we keep want to say goodbye to them?
I want to see both, and I want to say thank you first of all for the two of you.
Thank you guys for calling.
Do they have a question?
Do y'all have a question for Merv and me?
Come on, ask me a question. Ask Auntie Ayesha a question. She's thinking.
They're
dude.
thinking.
Really hard. I don't know.
You want to know what beauty products I use in my hair? Come on, dude. You can come up with a question. Journalism 101. How do you look so shiny, Mervin? Do you polish that bald head of yours? You got to stop laughing and ask a question, for flip's sake. You can ask either one of us. Ask us a question. You think about it, you let us know, okay? We're going to keep on rolling. Aish, in the station, in the radio station, we're a small market.
Yeah.
Go is a very small market. When I came here and I joined and I had no clue what I was doing, and I wanted to listen. It was more of a hobby.
I think it was for you, yeah.
Because I'd grown up with these big names, the DJs, the RJs.
And things, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've got people like Rohit Baker, these guys that are big DJs. There again, we've only got like a limited number. We don't have a huge number.
We don't. And I think that's also because of the fact that when you look at a country like India, it's so vernacular, right? So there's also that makes it all the more difficult. The masses are more vernacular, so more Hindi, more, that's where the masses lie, and that's what they're listening to. So English, I think, that's why it's so few and far between when you have the English shows. But now, of course, it's moving in a different way. Podcasts have become a massive thing, and
nobody around the world speaks Hindi other than Indians. Nobody around the world speaks Konkani other than Goans. The fact of the matter remains, we need to have kids brought to the same level, given them a chance by learning English medium. There's nothing wrong with it. I firmly believe in studying Hindi, Konkani, Marathi. I have nothing against that.
Yeah.
But English to put you on a level playing field.
Absolutely.
To be an RJ, to be a DJ, to be a journalist, to be a doctor, a lawyer. You can go anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. I mean, that would be for me, a basic minimum. Sorry.
I was asking you, what would you change about being, Radio Indigo.
Yeah.
In a market like Go, we've got a captive audience.
Yeah.
What would be something you would change? You started to mention about the control. I left Indigo when I did. I was there. It was a hobby, and I did it. It was a laugh, and I enjoyed the people calling in and the interaction, interviewing people. I've never been trained, by the way. I've never done this as a profession. Never went to school or college and learned anything about this. We did all of this, and we started gaining the popularity, but there was a lot of control.
There was.
You just mentioned about how if you let people do what they're good at, right?
Yeah.
Is that something specifically, you have people that want to advertise on your show, but that's if you build the viewers, followers, listeners, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Control. It's a big thing in Indigo, no?
It is a big thing. And I always hope that they would give us a little bit of a leeway to have more conversations. But I think I understand that that's the business model. That's what they're following, and that's what they're doing. But I think there's, like the other day on Friday, I had a conversation with these guys who are part of something called the 403 Collective. And the conversation was such a laugh riot. Start to finish, I was entertained.
Who's the 403, by the way?
So the 403 Collective, 403 stands for Goa's zip code. 403.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So they just didn't want to call themselves the Goa Gang or the Goa Collective. They decided something a little cooler, which is the 403 Collective. And because they all come from different parts of Goa and the zip code changes according to where you are, they just called it the 403 Collective. And they're guys with a passion for miniature scale model cars.
My cousin Philip would love that.
Are you kidding me? Is that the 403?
That's the 403. They came into the studio on Friday. That's the picture of the three guys that you can see up there. So there's Rahul and Damien and Sherman. And they've all got like regular jobs. But this is just a passion project on the side. And they actually had a show today from 10 to 1 in the morning where they have a themed show. So everyone was only allowed to show up with red and white cars. And they did, and their dioramas are just unbelievable, beautiful.
I gotta ask you, who's the dude in the middle, by the way? He's challenged when he's making. Was he supposed to be doing a heart?
No, they
What's
were
that?
trying to show
What's up?
4, 0, and 3.
Oh, you can't see the other ones, dude.
And
I love
can you see the
see.
white heat red streak thing? That was today morning. So they did a.
You know, I love it. And a shout out to these guys. What do they call the 403 gang?
The 403 Collective.
403. Listen, you got Pitbull going around the world. He's got the mind 305, 305, 305. I love the 403 Collective. I think that's so cool.
You should actually have a chat with them.
Reppin' Goa.
Yes.
Reppin' Goa, dude.
Absolutely.
Put us on the stage. But even cars, I'm a big fan of cars. These guys into mini. I love cars, and I'm a total petrol head. Even stuff like that, when in the States, you've had these rallies where you have all these people that are fanatics and they bring out their cars to do shows. If that's what these guys are doing, is that what it was today?
It was. They brought it all.
The
came up
dinky
with
cars.
we used to call them dinky cars.
Dinky cars.
But they're called scale models.
Yeah.
That's
right.
the technical term.
Yeah,
Scale
model
models.
cars,
And it's amazing. There's a guy that they were talking about called Abe, who has done miniatures of like the Goan ferry, the building, like scale models of the ferry, the building opposite the Panjim post office, the red and white one, and so beautiful. And look at the talent.
They're
look at this.
amazing.
This was what they did today, and they've got kids involved. Look at that.
Fiat.
Just look at that. It's just unbelievable. I was so taken up with what they do and what they represent. It's just amazing.
A big shout out to the 403 Collective. What is that on Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's
Go
on
check
Instagram.
them out, man. I think that's really impressive. I love the cars. I love the minis. I think it's really, really great. There's another talent. There's a skill. There's a Chevy Chevelle and a Ford Mustang. That's a
at you with
thrill.
your car
I
knowledge.
love my cars, guys.
Look at you with your car knowledge.
I love them. I love them. There's so
And
many.
they've got their little miniature like drivers or people, whatever. There's some of their pictures where you wouldn't even think it was a scale model because they've shot it so beautifully. And shout out to the guys behind the photography of all of this, including Rahul. Just unbelievable stuff.
Wow, that is amazing, and you've got that happening right. There's a Ford Bronco. You've got it happening right here in Goa. Yeah, this is something new, by the way. These guys are going guys.
All going guys.
How
All going
again
guys.
would you
And
mind?
I was just like, you know what? Come in and have a conversation. And the conversation was just so great. And that, for me, is the big thing that's missing. Is the conversation.
But that's the control of your show, no?
Exactly.
It's called the Ayesha Barretto Show for a reason. And if you're doing something that's working and you're having people like this that are interesting, it has to be topical. It's got to be something localized.
Absolutely.
You can't tell me from anywhere else in the world how to do a show here in Goa if it's working.
Yeah.
If it's not working, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
But if it's paying the bills and it's getting interesting and you're putting your own stamp and people want to advertise and it's generating the station revenue, as an RJ, you should be given free hold. You've got
freedom.
3, 4, 5 hours of a show.
Yeah.
You can listen to music all day long.
Yeah.
Nowadays with technology, you can log into your phone, you can connect your phone and Bluetooth in a car and listen to all the music, whatever kind you want.
So true.
But that's what made RJs, like I said, what made me want to be somebody that is watching and learning from people that have gone ahead of us, that have laid down the road, paved the way for us.
Paved the way for us. True.
You do a good job, and I'm sad because I genuinely believe Indigo's got so much more potential. They just need one good person at the helm, running the station, proper salespeople. You raise the value of your ad, whatever the thing is, and you've got somebody like you. Get a couple of RJs, and you can kick butt. You can really, really do well. I'm not going to get into more about Indigo, but you can tune into Aisha's show on Radio Indigo 91.9 every morning. phone, and she's absolutely phenomenal. Where'd the Munchkins go?
They logged off.
Are we getting
I was just
messages?
going to ask him a question. Where's the man from 305? This is Pitbull.
But we do have some feedback and some nice comments coming in from relatives and people who know both Merv and Ayesha. One from Sheila Miranda, our aunt.
Okay, that's my
saying,
aunt in Bombay.
Good to see you on the show, Ayesha. I have good memories of Merv's parents from our Chembur days.
Aww.
Parents.
His dad stood by us when my dad fell ill. He was really kind.
Who's that?
Oh, that's
Who is
lovely.
that?
That's my aunt, our aunt,
Sheila Barretto.
Sheila Miranda.
Sheila Miranda, ma'am, I'm so sorry because I don't know anything about you, but thank you so much. That is so kind, and I love to hear these stories about family that I don't even know. My dad, I knew him very well, and he's passed away. But thank you for the kind words, and thank you for remembering something. She's your aunt.
She's my mum's sister. She lives in Bombay.
And don't you forget, Merv, we have to do Chembur Days, what do you call show. Remember, we have to talk to people from Mumbai and talk about the days when Goans and, were living like you guys were living in Chembur, for example. What say?
I grew up in Chembur. I am proud of our address was 555 11th Road, Chembur, Bombay. And I remember that as a kid. I loved it. It was such a lovely place. Chembur was villas, houses, gardens, everybody playing Chor Police and all the games in the evening. My mom and dad sent us all the way to Baikala to St. Mary's to go to school.
Yeah.
And everybody thought they were mad. That education, we spoke about education earlier, that education made such a huge difference to us 5 kids.
Yeah.
But Chembur was such a beautiful place. In Bombay, I'm not a fan of it anymore because
Yeah.
it's changed, not for the better. And that's what's happening to Goa nowadays. Goa is becoming another big city.
It's a very sad thing.
We will definitely, I'd love to do a reunion. If a couple of people from Chembur want to come out and give Chembur a shout out to the people from Chembur want to shout out to people anywhere in the world. That's what the show is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Merv Barretto Show. I've got the one and only RJ Ayesha Barretto on the show. We're having a candid conversation and we're going to keep it going. Thank you, by the way, Sheila, for the message. You guys, you can get in touch with us, 7507.
246.
God bless you, Ayesha. 246. A message, a call. We'd love to see your
We'd really
faces
love to hear from you.
and hear from you. Some questions about it. I'm going to keep on. There's all our social media handles. You can leave us a comment. You can say what you want, and it doesn't always have to be good. You can say something bad. We love the criticism. As a matter of fact, Ajay, we're going to do a show about some of these comments. I don't know if there's any bad comments that people have sent, but I'd love to do a show about that. That'd be funny.
We got some funny ones on our
Definitely,
Instagram
definitely.
post that you put up.
I don't do it. We're going to blame Neil for anything bad. Mr. Neil Rodrigues, he's the one that does all our social media now. He's just come on board, and he's doing a phenomenal job. Aish, in the industry you're in and what you do MCing, by the way.
Yes, I do.
Is there a specific event or things you will and you won't do?
I'm open to anything, but I have to say there have been a couple of occasions when I've been like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I remember hosting a wedding a few years ago where the father of the bride got really obnoxious, screamed at me.
Why?
Lots of things that just didn't kind of fall into place. I agree that he was calling the shots more than the bride and groom themselves. And the reason I had agreed to do the wedding was because the groom was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like we went to the wedding, it was happening down south, and they conveniently forgot to mention that they had hired a second MC. And I'm happy to work with another MC, but we have to have a meeting in the sense that we're both on the same page. So he walked in, and I remember the band guys, shout out to Cassie. Cassie was like, and I'm like, what are you doing? You give me the peace sign, what's happening? He's like, no, second MC. And I was like, what? No way. Like, I had no clue.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. And this guy opens, he sets up his mic, and he's got a completely different flow. I'm happy to work with someone, but we have to be on the same page. So he's got a different scenario of how things are going to go for the reception. I've got a different understanding of how the reception is going to go. So, okay, fine. We've run up to meet the bride and groom in their room. She's getting a touch up on her makeup. And we've come back down. I've gone to update the band because everyone has to be in
On the same
flow of
page.
things, yeah? So I've gone to update the band. Suddenly I can see fireworks going off in the distance. That MC has brought the bride and groom in. Band hasn't even started playing a song for them to enter to. No. So it's that kind of a thing. And I know that they had invited a lot of people, more than they had told us were coming. So they ran out of chairs, they ran out of tables for people to sit, and lots of people from the political side of things, a lot of people from the very established families, all of that. And they've set up a humongous cake in the center of this dance floor, and it starts to rain. And they've got 500 people there.
Outdoor, yeah.
Outdoor, no cover. The band is literally pulling tarpaulin, and this is in November, so nobody's expecting rain. Nobody's expecting rain. I give them that. So literally, the band's covering some. We've got like the loader boys just holding tarpaulin over the band because they had no covering, and the bride and groom come closer and they look at the cake, and again they've told this guy something different. They've told me something different. And I said, let's just get the cake cutting done because your cake's getting wet, your crowd is getting wet. It's set up. And it was a massive setup. It's not something you could just move off the dance floor. And he just, before I could say anything, he stepped out from behind his daughter and he says, "What are you doing?" And screaming at the top of his lungs.
At the show event? Oh my God.
At the wedding.
At the wedding. And he's like, "We want to do the first dance first." And I'm like, "But sir, your guests, your cake, your bride and your daughter and son-in-law are getting wet. Let's just get this out of the way so people can go for cover and then we can figure out the dance later." But it was just such a disaster from start to finish. I walked out on that wedding. That's the only wedding I walked out on because he was abusing me in words that I cannot use live on the air. And at one point, I was so upset because for me, I was not able to do my job the way I would have liked to have done it. So I just packed my things. And I was so upset. And again, Cassie said, "Listen, you're not in a state to drive. Just sit behind the stage," because I was so worked up. "Sit behind the stage and calm yourself down. We'll drive back with you." And so I packed my things, sat behind the stage, out of view. He clocked me, the father clocked me from somewhere in the crowd. And he came for me again. And he was like, "What are you still doing here? Are you here because you want more money?" And I'm like, "No, that's not it." And he was like, "I'll pay you more to leave. I just want you out of here," and screaming and yelling. It was just a disaster.
I've seen you. I've heard I've known you for a long time. You are the consummate professional. So I don't know who the dude is, but he's out of his flipping mind. So to hell with him. I hope his daughter and son are still married and happy.
I don't know. I've never kept in touch with them after that.
I don't blame you. Who's Cassie, by the way? What band? Is she from the band?
It was from Alcatraz.
Alcatraz?
Yeah.
Big name band, yeah?
Yeah, Alcatraz was the band playing at the wedding.
Shout out to Cassie for being so cool.
Yeah.
You know what? That kind of stuff that's going to happen. You gotta roll with the punches, but that's unacceptable. That is unexpected, but unacceptable to be able to behave that way at your son and daughter and son's wedding, whatever the case may be. And you deal with these situations.
So these are few and far between. This was really the worst of it. But you do get yourself in moments where there's a lot of people coming at you in a scenario like this. And you just have to learn who to listen to, who to drown out. At the end of the day, for me, the most important person from a wedding perspective is the bride and groom.
Absolutely.
As long as they're having fun and they're having a good time. But that's also something that couples need to realize. You can't bring so many people into the mix of things with parents and saying, "Oh, we wanted this way, we wanted that way." So they also have to learn how to filter out who they're going to bring to the table for meetings and discussing the flow.
This is the one day they get to celebrate not only their union, but you get to spend time with all the people that you know and love and that you want to have.
And I think that's also the sad thing about weddings these days is that it's also parents paying back so many obligations of people's
That's a flippant joke.
weddings that they've been invited to. Sorry, we're getting more messages, I think.
Yeah, we're getting more messages actually.
Oh, no, man. No, just getting into it. Go on.
Okay, so this is regarding Ayesha. We have a message from Lauren Lopez.
Hi, Lauren.
Couldn't agree more. Ayesha is the most modest person I know, but everything she is the result of all the hard work she's put in, and it is really inspiring.
Oh, Lauren.
She inspires me every day, and that's why we wanted to have her on the show, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, where is she calling from?
I believe she is messaging from Bangalore.
From Bangalore?
Yes.
See, listen, you can be anyone. This is the Merv British show. We're bringing people together. Thank you, by the way.
And we have a couple of other
finish that one, dude.
Okay.
What's her name? What was her name?
Lauren Lopez.
Thank you, Lauren Lopez.
Thank you, Lauren.
And then we have a message from Frederick Nerona. There are journalism courses in Goa at St. Xavier's Mapsa and Don Bosco Panjim. The first is an undergraduate course. The second is a postgraduate diploma. he continues and he says, Goa, the cradle of journalism and printing in Asia, needs higher courses too,
Yeah.
up to the PhD. But people are also learning journalism on the job.
That's true.
Frederick, is this the famous Frederick Nerona from Saligaon? Yeah? They've
I
got-
think it must be Saligaw Net. He
Saligaw Net, I
keeps
know.
people in
I've
touch
never
across
met
the
him.
world.
Frederick F.N. Norona.
So there is a Frederick
That
Nerona.
is him.
Frederick Nerona that runs the Saligaw Net. That my
Big shout out to
sister.
Frederick. He's awesome.
You know who I'm talking about?
I
Is this the same
think
one?
it's the same. I think it's the same Frederick Nerona.
Mr. Nerona, thank you so much for your message. You're absolutely right. And if it is the same one from Saligaw, big shout out to Saligaw, the best village in Goa. Wait, let me hit this. I'm to call them, am I saying it right? The call it the Foxes? No, Saligaw Foxes?
Saligaw
Correct.
Foxes, yeah.
The best looking women, boy. I tell you what, Saligaw is my, I shouldn't be. There's loads of beautiful villages in Goa, but I'm a big fan of Saligaw. Thank you, Frederick Nerona. He mentioned a couple of courses, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ayesha, why? That's the first I'm ever hearing about journalism here.
No, well, journalism has come a long way. I remember when I got back because I just wanted something on my educational qualification that was related to journalism. I did a postgraduate diploma in journalism at Dempase, but it has come a long way since then.
In Dempase. So that's here in Goa, no?
Yeah. Journalism
I
courses have come a long way.
why don't you host an how to be a journalist? I swear to God, it would make so much more sense, and people would get so much more out of it. How to be an MC, an RJ, a VJ, you should. I'm telling you, that's a business opportunity. I want a piece of that. Yusuf Mataji, how did you learn to do editing? How? Where did you study, dude? In Goa. So there are. What Frederick's saying is there are.
But there's, like Frederick said, a lot of people are learning journalism on the job, and I think that's also a great way to really pick up the ropes.
Merv, you should be asking me.
You can't be doing that stuff, man. You can't learn journalism on the road. You got to be able
No, but people have their own podcasts, and as well as just not, they're getting their name out there and they're doing investigative reporting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then posting online. So that's one of the examples, additionally, of learning on the job.
Merv,
Yeah, Baba.
you should be asking me how I learned to do all of this, mate.
Oh,
Me.
Ask Ajoy.
fuck's sake. Okay, Ajay. Okay, why don't you tell me, enlighten me how you learned.
Well, you know what? This is going to go on our first year anniversary for this show. I'll tell you all about it. All about
You
it.
can't
caught
tease it
glimpses
for
of how
that
you
long.
We were talking last week, and we were talking about the longest song. And if I ask you, it's going to be like my Uncle Peter from Canada who sang the song, The Bear Jumped Over the Mountain song. It's the longest song I've ever heard. The bear jumped over the mountain to see what he could see. And all that he could see was the other side of the mountain. And the song goes on for hours and hours. Ajay, is your story going to be that?
It'll rival that for sure.
We'll ask you that another time. I'm sure you've had some experiences. Listen, in this day and age, you've got people with the technology that we have, with social media, with all the things that are smart enough to use it to its max.
Yeah.
Joanne keeps mentioning podcasts. She loves podcasts.
Yeah, they're my second friend.
I think you'd be brilliant at a podcast because you've got these people that are what are they called on Instagram that are role models. What is that?
Influencers.
Social media influencers, right? And they make millions of dollars, dude.
That's insane, Merv. I just learned the other day how much people can charge just to show up at an event, being an influencer.
Yeah.
They have a price tag attached to being invited and being present at an event.
And people pay that.
And people pay that. And they show up, they take a few pictures, they have some free food, free drinks.
Dude, I
and
want to do.
they're out of there.
But
Job
listen,
done, money earned. And I'm like, I want that life. But no, that's also not me.
you just mentioned it, and that's not me. I gotta say, just like you, I don't do the social media thing, and I'm gonna stop right now, and I'm gonna say there's so many lovely people that have sent me messages and stuff on Facebook.
Wait, he's raising.
And Facebook. That have said kind things and have wished me for my birthday probably
Yes.
4 years ago. I haven't been on Facebook, by the way. And now we're using Facebook as a platform. RJ Merv Brito and mervbrito.com, the show, and my personal page. So before I go any further, I just want to say sorry and thank you so much for all of the people that have stayed in touch and kept in touch. And even now we've hit a certain amount of subscribers on our Facebook page. I do appreciate it. I'm not being hoity-toity or stuck up. I just don't do like I I don't do social media. We'll never be influencers because you've got to do that constantly, dude.
To be fair, I have the utmost respect for people that do it on a daily basis.
Yeah, good.
I know if I post one reel, it takes me forever to do.
Dude, we struggle, and we've got, like I said, I've got Yusuf Mataji in the studio. I'm going to call him Yusuf Pitaji in the studio, for goodness sake. He's damn good at what he does. But if you didn't have people like this who would do all the editing and the graphics and all that kind of stuff, and we have Neil who does the social media posting and stuff, I can't do this, mate.
Absolutely.
I can barely use my phone to take a picture and send make a phone call. Yes, Mr. Barretto.
So you've got a live comment coming all the way from New Zealand by Sybil Asnani.
That's my cousin.
She says, "Hello, handsome. Watching you and enjoying your show on Facebook
Oh, lovely.
from the beautiful New Zealand."
Did you just put that in yourself? You just sent that.
Yeah, I'm a modern day, sound effects machine.
Multi-talented. Sybil Asnani is my cousin. Sybil, if you're watching, hello, my darling. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Look into the camera and say that.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
And her sister, by the way, now that you said that, Willie and Mira keep telling me you've got to make love to the camera. This is me making love to. I don't do it, dude. Thank you, Sybil. That's very sweet of you.
Remember, Mervyn, you still owe me that trip to New Zealand, so we would love to come and see you, Sybil. Linda, of course.
Good one, Joe. Wait, Joe's still
I
raising
cut
his
my
hand.
trip short to come back to see Mervyn. New Zealand is a place I absolutely loved, and I cut that trip short to come back to see Mervyn. So he's promised me one of
I
these
will
days.
one day.
I might tag along. I've never been.
Oh yeah, you should. It's like 4 seasons in one day. New Zealand's got absolutely everything. It's just the most phenomenal place, I
best
have to
friend
say.
says that.
We've got lots of lovely family out there. So Bobby and his wife and the kids, Merv.
Yeah,
of
Bobby.
course, it'd be lovely to see them.
My nephew, of course, New Zealand, by the way, beautiful place. My cousins, beautiful people. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and sending us a message. That's exactly, that's why I wanted to do the show, by the way. When I finished with Indigo, when I left Indigo a long, long time ago, I always swore that with technology changing, I got into the internet business, and that's what kept me busy. And people have always asked me, where did you go after Indigo? Did you go back to America? No, I've been here the whole time.
Slogging your butt off.
And working my tail off, and we started a small little company that provided internet. It's grown, and we've been blessed to have what little we have. By the way, this show is being sponsored by Enterprise. By Merv.
You don't even know.
He blew
The
it.
Enterprise.
He blew it.
Yeah, just cut that out in the edit.
No, you can't cut that. It's live. This show is sponsored by Merv Enterprises and Infinet, which is our ISP. If you want a good internet connection, get in touch with us. You can check us out on Google, which is Merv Enterprises,
Correct.
or on our website, which is infinetgoa.com. We provide connections here. And that business that I started, we started many, many years ago, has given us the opportunity to do something like this, what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not to be a big name RJ or DJ, but so much is happening here in Goa, Aish.
Yeah.
And this kind of thing, other than taking an ad in a newspaper or on the radio, you can speak on this kind of a medium. You can speak to people all over the world. You've had people call from New Zealand, which is lovely. Guys, I appreciate it. 750-724-6246. We can take as many calls as we can. But Aish, the reason we do this show is because it gives you a platform for people anywhere in the world. Like I said, you don't have to be going or even Indian. But we wanted to highlight some of the BS. Call BS on some of the stuff that's happening with politics, with the way the place is being run into the ground, the development. I spoke about Chembur being such a lovely place.
Such a sore point for me.
It is, and that's a whole show on its own.
Oh my gosh! Call me back for that anytime.
It's just a full series, I think.
I could sing that 10 Ways to Sunday.
We had Walter Lobo. We had a guy named Walter Lobo, who's a big celebrity here.
I love Walter Lobo.
He's a character. He's a but you know what I respect about him? He will speak his mind.
Yes.
He doesn't care about who's listening, who's watching, nothing. He speaks his mind. And that's what the show is all about. We want people to have a platform where you can call in anonymous, you can call in and state your gripe, your claim, whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter remains is that this is a platform to bring people together anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
You can contact anybody else in the world. and say hello, state your piece, speak your mind. We want people to get involved, and that's how we want to basically get the ball rolling and have these conversations with people.
I actually want to, sorry to interrupt, Merv, want to give a shout out to Walter Lobo, because he's one of the very few people that are vocal about the issues that are, he may just be localizing it to his area, but if only more people were that vocal, or at least quarter of the way vocal about issues in their areas. There are a few people that are now stepping up and juggling regular jobs and doing what needs to be done in terms of putting a person on the spot by getting onto Instagram, using social media to highlight these issues. Yeah. That's where I'm like, that's a great tool to amplify, but not enough people are doing it.
Because I think also we'd had Walter on the show, and then we had Joanna on the next week.
This is Walter Lobo, and I'm telling you.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, Walter, that's me imitating you. Bad imitation, Walter.
You've still got his cigarette that he left behind.
Hey.
You still need to give his cigarette back.
That's Walter's favorite thing. Hey, you say
just the sweetest.
He's got the balls to come and say whatever he wants to say to whoever he wants to say, and I salute that. Another one that we weren't supposed to have is a guy named Feli Gomes, who's going to come back to
Feli's also amazing. Highlights
never
a lot
met
of
him,
issues.
Yeah?
Me?
I've never met him, but I'm saying he's everybody.
I'm a big fan of Feli. Really, really amazing chap. There's also Shohail, I think. I hope I have his name right. Shohail, who's also highlighting a lot of issues, juggling a regular job, but going to Gram Panchayat meetings, highlighting issues on his Instagram, and using these tools, these platforms, to amplify the issues that need to be seen.
And I think that's one thing I was just going to say, is what after Walter was on and Joanna was on, they were just talking about the fact that activists and campaigners are seen as negatives, but it's not negative. It's actually highlighting things that need to be addressed and people need to know more about, so that they can rally support, or maybe just rise up and say, well, actually, no, I'm not happy about these things happening in my area, because obviously, like Mervyn has mentioned many times, we just don't want to lose the Goa that we love.
Yeah, and even Daniel D'Souza. His Instagram handle is Daniel with Green Ideas. He's
with what? Daniel with what eyebrows?
Green Ideas.
No,
green
eyebrows.
Eyebrows. Fucking green ideas. Eyebrows. God
Green
almighty, you
ideas.
see a doctor about that.
Absolutely amazing with highlighting issues, and it's can of worms that I can't open right now. But
no, but that's
just
the thing.
amazing.
That's exactly why we're going to have to wrap it up a little bit soon. I could sit here and talk to you, by the way, because you're somebody that I've known for a while. You're so easy to talk to. The thing about it is, this could take 5 hours to talk about all the problems in Goa.
Yeah.
And it's not to be a Debbie Downer. You want to highlight these issues. You've got an international platform on a show like this.
Yeah.
And use it for the good.
Yeah.
We want to promote Goa. We love, the only reason that Joy and I started this when we did is because we love this place, and it's going to hell in a handbasket.
That's true. That's true.
And if nobody else does a darn thing about it, the crooks have a full-time job being crooks.
Yeah.
We've got a full-time job paying the bills. We've got to do what we do to pay the bills and survive. But that's what the demise of this place is. This place is an absolute freaking gold mine. The goose that laid the golden egg for Goa was the tourists.
Fried the egg and killed the goose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
I love that. That's absolutely right. We fried the egg and what? And
Killed the goose.
And killed the goose.
Goose Kafrial.
Chakuti mare.
Chakuti.
I think one of my biggest issues is that they've given way to quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've just let it slide. Like, kudos to people in Kerala that have held on to what makes them so unique. We've really lost what makes Goa so unique. And it breaks my heart. And that's the thing. Very few people talk about it. We're very quick to talk about it behind closed doors in a pub or a bar with friends over drinks. But we're not literally being vocal about it until we actually start raising our voices, asking the right questions, and constantly demanding better.
Questions.
Yeah.
Questions. Ask
Just
the
question it. You don't have to get like violent or volatile about it. You just have
don't.
to
And
ask questions, demand better.
That's the thing about it, is this platform, the Merv Barretto Show, gives us an opportunity to do exactly that. By the way, one of the things that I want to ask you about is the censorship. of journalism. People aren't allowed. You mentioned about people sitting in pubs or behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Everybody's so afraid to speak their mind for the repercussions for what might happen. Guys, if you don't speak up, we spoke to Joanna Perez, and there's a brilliant initiative, by the way, that they're doing.
The circle one is that they do.
No.
Oh, you're
Fix it or you're going
talking
to
about
be
the
in
green.
pig shit. What's it called?
Yeah.
Green Vixit.
Yeah.
Green Vixit.
Green Vixit.
Goer.
So this is how people can actually get involved. If you genuinely love something, you want to get involved and help. Anjali would say to Joanna Perez with Goa, with all these kind of things, they've actually put stuff together where you can have people get involved, fill out a form. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but you don't have any of that. That's on our website, right?
Yeah, that closed on the 30th of June.
Though.
But there's more
Unless
about
they've extended it, we can check.
Goa Vixit?
Goa Vixit.
Green Vixit.
Green
Goa.
Vixit.
Green Vixit Goa.
Guys, go check it out.
Act for Goa. Just check for actforgoa.org,
Actforgoa
and you'll get all the information there.
Actforgoa.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you want people to do, right? Speak up about it. It's nice to speak in private, at bars, behind closed doors. But unless you bring things, like you said, ask questions, bring things to the forefront. Censorship in journalism, there's a whole new can of worms. People aren't afraid. With nowadays, media is so biased.
Yeah.
Here, you can, I've gone through this with the AGISP, which is the All Goa Internet Service Providers Association.
AGISPA.
Yeah, which is an organization that takes. We've had so much trouble recently with all this crap, illegal as it may be, and we've had to step up and create this association and fight for what's right. We provide a valuable service, but people are scared to speak up because of the repercussions or the context of something.
Absolutely, and it's sad.
And that's what you can't happen, right? So again, I'm saying to you, this is the Merv Barretto Show. We love Goa. If you've got a connection, it's not all about Debbie Downer and the negative. If you've got something positive to say and you want to make that heard, give us a call.
Yeah.
All our social media handles, where you watch your pod and listen to your podcast. Guys, get in touch with us. I could talk to you for 5 more hours, and unfortunately we can't.
I've got
to ask you a couple of rapid fire round questions before we go. Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, Ayesha,
Yes,
as an RJ, have you met any of your musical heroes?
Well, I've not met them personally, but I've had a chance to have a conversation with them.
Like who? Tell.
Ed Sheeran over the phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he come to Goa? Why didn't he?
He did.
Why didn't he?
Did come to Goa,
you?
but no one knew that he was coming to Goa. It was just a very hush-hush thing. He came, wrote a song on our beaches, and went right back.
Oh, that would have been wonderful if he could have been a guest on your show.
Yeah, I would have loved to have my
Axel should be a guest on your show. Axel and I were part of one video from what? Who the hell was it?
Mumford and Sons
Mumford
on
and
the
Sons.
Cave.
Another
The
big
song
name.
The Cave. Yeah. That was the song that blew Mumford and Sons up, and it was Ashley and Pierre's dad, Albin, on the video as well. It was Elvis, and it was Axel.
Wow. But how did you interact with Ed Sheeran, though, even though you didn't meet him? What happened?
It was great. It was just a conversation recorded over Zoom.
Oh, lovely.
It was really fun. Spoke to him, spoke to Sean Paul.
Shana Paul.
Sean Paul.
Did you?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Fucking hell.
I spoke to... that interview never aired. I don't know why. There was some problem with...
Are you kidding me? You spoke to Sean Paul.
Sean Paul aired, but I also spoke to Blue, the band One Love.
Oh, yeah, I used to love Blue.
I spoke to them, but that interview never aired. Spoke to Anne Marie from
Who's Anne
the
Marie?
UK.
Who's Anne Marie?
Yeah.
She's a new age artist doing some really cool stuff. It's not Anne Murray, the
Anne Murray.
old artist that used to put out some really beautiful tunes. Would love to speak to her too. So I've done quite a few people that... did you know Coldplay came to Goa? Sorry, just...
No
yes,
way.
they did.
I've seen Chris Martin multiple times. I've got lots of stories when I've seen him at Top of the Pops. I've seen him in the street in London after I'd come out of Abercrombie and Fitch. Lovely, lovely, down-to-earth guy.
It looks it.
He's really... And one of their most famous songs ever, he was being recorded on Top of the Pops, and he just said, listen, guys, I know you have got no clue about this song. Just pretend it's, your favourite song in the whole wide world. And he was just so humble. Lovely guy.
They didn't come and perform in Goa. They just came to Goa for a bit of a break between all of their touring of India.
Yeah.
And they actually ate at Cavatina in Goa, in Chef
fantastic.
Avinash's place.
Ajoy's putting pictures of all this. You can see it on the site.
I'm trying to find it.
That's okay. You can put them on the
wow.
website. You can put it. People can check it out later.
No, because I was just saying to Mervyn before you came that today is the 40th anniversary of Live Aid.
Wow.
So essentially, it was the 13th of July, 1985, and it
Joanne
basically.
dropping all these
I know.
all these facts. Go on,
No,
love.
I know, but the point is it reached 1.9 billion people globally before social media, Mervyn.
course.
So it was aired in 150 countries around the world.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was one of the Queen's most iconic performances
Freddie
as
Mercury,
well.
he put on a show, dude. You know what? It's hard to imagine that's 40 years ago when they put this on for famine, for live in.
Yeah, they were for Ethiopia famine relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's Coldplay at Cavatina, apparently.
Yeah, that's Coldplay. So they didn't put Chris Martin in the picture.
Where the fuck is Chris Martin?
Those
What kind of
are the
picture is
band
that,
guys
though?
of Coldplay.
That ain't the band guys. That's the guys that cleared the table after they
No,
finish eating. Is that, who the hell is it? Put that goddamn picture back up. Who is freaking Coldplay?
They're the guy in the blue.
Where's the guy? This guy in
That's
blue?
the guitarist.
No, he's the
Yes,
bouncer. Okay.
no.
And who else?
Wait.
I think just one man.
No, they were all there. And there was actually a picture of Chris Martin at the Goa airport. Somebody
Listen,
managed
guys,
to
if you're
get a
gonna
picture of him
put a
at the
picture
airport.
of Coldplay on your website or whatever, I want to see Chris Martin. I want to see Gwyneth Paltrow. Who's he married to?
No, he's not married
He's
to
not
her.
married.
They decoupled long ago.
He's got.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Did he? I don't know who he's
They
married.
were married, and
Yeah.
then he was.
I enjoy putting pictures of all of this stuff on and distracting us when I'm in the middle of my conversation with the lovely Ayesha Barretto. By the way, all these pictures will be on our site. Yusuf Mataji will put these on our website. I keep saying that, Yusuf. I don't know why. Listen, if there you go. We got some more pictures. We'll share them all on the website. You can check them out. By the way, if Aishwarya, Deepika, or who's my third one? Priyanka.
There's
You're
Coldplay.
listening.
There's
Show
Chris
them.
Martin at
He
the
was
airport.
turning away.
I'd love to. I'd love. Is that at the airport?
There he is.
That's
with his blue
Dakota
hat on.
Johnson.
Is that his wife?
Yeah, that was his girlfriend of yeah.
Dakota Johnson. She's a good
She's the actress.
She's
But
all
I
right.
think
She's
they've
all right.
split again.
Have they?
It's very sad.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I've had such a blast, and like I said to you, I could talk to you for hours. We're going to make you a guest.
We'll have to have a
guest
part
host.
2.
I'm down for part 10 as well.
Absolutely.
Couple of things that I want to just come back to. Firstly, Merv, I don't know if you remember when we did the Your Mama jokes on your show. That's
remember.
when you were talking about why people are not receptive to certain things about radio. I don't know if you heard that joke. We decided to do a bunch of
Yes.
Your Mama jokes.
Yeah.
And people got so offended. Like, how are you? The fact that they were just jokes just went over everybody's head. And we actually got somebody called in so upset saying, "You're being so disrespectful to mums everywhere." And we were like, no, that's really.
Oh, you didn't have a
Get a
disclaimer
life.
before, that's why.
And that's why I do what I do now. I don't have anybody breathing. We did a joke about Akon, and I made a joke. and
Yes,
it got
that was
me.
another one.
But that's so silly, guys. I don't mean any harm. I love everybody. But if you can't be yourself, like I said, it's always okay to do that behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But just like an asshole, everybody's got an opinion. And if you can't make your opinion known with what's going on, right or wrong, and have a voice, what's this phrase? If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
Ayesha Barretto, you've been a star. I'm still gonna do it. You're gonna say something?
Sorry, I think there are more messages.
No, I'm not gonna go through any more of them right now.
But I do have something to show you.
Baba Sang.
dear.
Not that old video, please don't. Oh my God,
Oh,
Mom,
Mervyn,
no.
that was about 20 pounds ago.
Fuck off, Joe. What are you trying to say?
Oh
Damn!
my God.
What up, baby? How you doing? That's in the studio, dude.
Oh my gosh.
We did a lot of musty.
Oh, but we always had fun on air.
We did. We
always
had a
had
good time.
fun on air.
Oh my God! How many years ago? That's it. That's enough. Kill that. crap.
Stop, Ajay, stop.
How many years ago was that?
2015.
Can that eh?
Must be
That
at
was
least
2016,
2016,
was
2017.
2016
I
then.
think about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 9, 10 years
Is there a Mr. Ayesha Barretto? Is there? Come on, Ayesha, we gotta hook you up, dude. I want to do a show. This girl is
What,
a
blind date?
diamond.
Oh my God, stop.
This,
Stop now.
I told
Stop.
Willie, I was winding Willie up that
Stop.
I'm gonna find him a mate,
okay.
and he got angry with me. She's so pretty. She's such a lovely
Oh,
person.
stop.
I'm gonna go through some of these rapid fire
Okay,
questions. What is your favorite band, by the way? We're getting into entertainment. As an RJ, you
Whoa.
play music. Genre of music and favorite band?
I can't pick because I've been exposed to all kinds of genres growing up. With my dad, it was country and Elvis Presley. Mum loved Jim Reeves and so many others.
Come on, man. Give me one.
It's hard to pick, Merv. It really is hard to pick. Ajoy, thankfully, opened my ears to metal and rock.
Yeah, but that's a good
So I've
favorite
had
genre.
a really healthy mix of genres of music. So it's very hard to pick. But when it comes to something was a passion for me, it was jazz. I love jazz.
Okay. Would that be, that's one of the top?
That's one of the top. Jazz is a big thing for me.
What is, if somebody, young person's listening, young girl, young boy, impressionable,
Yeah.
what would a gem, a good piece of advice be to them as far as figuring out what you want to do growing?
Just play to your strengths. That's always been my thing. Play to your strengths. Play to what makes you feel happy and comfortable. Because then you're never having to strive to put on an act or be something you're not. You play to your strengths, and that's just going to carry you really far.
I love that. That's something so important. Axel said about music, and if it's a passion of yours, no matter how popular or people like it or don't like it, if you do something you love doing and you can make it a success, mate, you've got nothing like it.
Absolutely.
So as a passion, do what you love to do.
Just do what feels good for you. There's always going to be someone talking or having something to say, or they're going to question it, whatever. You and I know for a fact that we've always been asked, oh my God, you'll sound the same on air and in person. And I'm like, why would I want to be anyone else? I'm not going to put on, I also because I can't do voices, I can't do mimicry, I can't do anything else. So I'm never going to be someone that I'm not.
Be the best you that you can be. No?
Absolutely, that's
Bloody hell, if I could pat myself on the back. Be the best you that you could be. A very important question, a question that everybody out there who's listening, I hope you hear this and you do what you can to help. How do you make my Goa, my old Goa, the Goa that I love so much and we're so passionate about, how do you make it great again? Where would you start, Aish? It's a fully loaded question.
It is a very loaded question, and I think the great place to start is, I think, introspecting and asking what you can do differently. One of the big issues, of course, is garbage. Now, I've made a concerted effort now that if I'm presenting someone a gift, I'm not wrapping it. I'm giving it to you as is because it comes in enough wrapping as it is. The other day I went for one of my friend's son's birthdays, and I walked in and I said, I'm so sorry, I don't do wrapping it.
Newspaper, though. Newspaper told that, no.
I put it in a bag that they can reuse, probably a gift bag. It's so many steps that we can take. Again, people need to be vocal. Don't just sit behind your closed doors and in closed circles and just talk about issues. Be a lot more vocal about it. If we don't start questioning things are never going to change. If we don't ask the questions.
I love that. I wish you'd become a politician.
Oh, gosh.
I would vote for you. I'd get everybody. I swear to God, I'd
You'd
sell the
probably
shirt
be the
off
only
my
one to
back.
vote for me,
I'd
Merv.
sell the shirt off my back to get people to vote for you. I'll do a broke Elon Musk. A Golan Musk, dude. A going Elon Musk. Anyway, whatever. You know what? There's so many things. You talked about garbage. You talk about politics. You talk about all the silly, crazy, stupid things that people are doing here to get ahead and just running this place into the ground.
The overdevelopment.
I can't tell you how many people are here selling Goa. They've moved here to sell Goa, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah, you know what?
A piece of going,
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, as Goans, you want to be proud of where you come from.
Exactly.
Everybody else, I joked about 305 Pitbull. Every song he talks about 305, 305. You got these boys talking about 403. I want to rep Goa. I want to represent. I want to be somebody who can speak proudly of the place that I come from and that I love so much in a positive light. And that's not happening right now.
No.
We've got Goans and Indians all over the world doing very well. But it would be nice to have a place that you come from, that you originate from, that you can talk in a positive. Go check it out. This place is brilliant, like the old days. And you're talking about, you mentioned just now about the real estate problems, development, people in power just selling the place.
Yeah.
That's something that needs to change.
It breaks my heart, and really, like you said, needs to change. Absolutely, needs to change.
I'm gonna start printing T-shirts. Make my old Goa great again. Donald Trump's got MAGA. Make America great again. Ajay, we talked about this, dude.
Yeah, we did. We have to act on it now.
Make my old go up.
And I have to give a shout out to the States. They literally have freedom of speech there. At least when I went there in 2018, I got invited on a media tour, and it was just unbelievable. Like they had keychains of Donald Trump that you could squeeze and stuff would come out of his behind. But if we sold, I'm serious. It was at the airport when you were exiting. There is freedom of speech there. People were very vocal about issues on, like we visited so many radio stations while we were there. I was blessed to have been chosen for that. But just the freedom of speech in terms of asking questions of the people in power, like, what are you doing? Why can't it be better? Why can't you strive to do better? And that's the thing we don't have here. That's the sad reality, sad truth.
I forgot to ask you this question. You were selected out of you were one of a very few. How many people?
5 people from across India.
For the whole of India?
5 people.
She was selected to go to the States to do a course?
It wasn't a course. It was just to expose us to radio as a journalism media. In the States. So we started off in Washington, D.C., where we did political radio. We went to Nashville, where we were exposed to music radio. And then we went to San Francisco, where we did community radio. So those were the 3 segments that they kind of exposed us to.
There's a reason I said to you, there's the Donald Trump thing. I don't want to say it, dude. You got freedom of speech, and it can work for you, can work against you, and I'm not even going to get into that can of worms. We voted him in. I didn't vote for him, but there's a man that that's right. What's wrong with you, babe? Put it on the goddamn website. Is that a Dutchie?
Don't
a Dutchie?
promote these things.
Don't promote these things.
Okay,
him.
sorry, Ajay. Don't put it on the
But
goddamn
my whole
internet.
point of bringing it up, Joe, was just that if we had someone
course.
selling something like this here, we'd be shut down, thrown into jail. I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
What would be
But
the
there's a
Indian
big
version?
vacuum.
What would be the Indian version of that
Stop,
keychain?
stop.
Without
We don't-
naming names.
we
Come
don't
on,
wanna
guys.
know. We don't
Come
wanna
on.
Make Ajay happy and put a comment in. Put a comment down below. Tell Ajay would make us very happy to have. What was that? The Donald Trump lookalike in India? Yeah.
I have no
Let's
clue.
not go there. Let's not go there.
We're not gonna go there.
He doesn't need any more promo. We know that.
Yeah.
Dude, don't even get me started. Anyway, listen. Like I said, everybody's got an opinion, and I would love to spend more time and talk to you more about it. You have to come back. We're gonna do another show with Ayesha.
Happy to come back and have a chat.
Absolutely.
Always a
Guys,
blast.
in this day and age when everybody's so busy and trying to make a quick buck and get ahead, where you have to pay the bills, you forget all the things that made us human.
Yeah.
You'd seem to sell your aunt in a heartbeat to get ahead in life, and that's what you don't want to do.
Who? She
Especially,
wouldn't.
not Ayesha, I'm just talking about in general.
Just a general you.
You would sell your mother to get ahead, and it's sad because you're forgetting what makes you important, what makes this place important, what makes life really, really worth living. You're never going to run out of love, guys. I can't stress enough that we love this place so much, and we want to make this place a better place. Get involved, speak your mind. I got to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. You're an absolute rock star.
Thank you for having me, Merv. It's been an absolute pleasure. And just to be able to sit across from you and do this again just brings back so many memories. Stuff that we can't talk about here. But thank you for having me. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
It's been our pleasure. It's phenomenal.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check Ayesha out, she's on the radio every day. Indigo 91.9, your show from 7 to 10. You can give her a 7 to
7
10?
to 12.
7 to 12. Give her a shout. Just tell her. Just tell her. Just call and tease her. Give her some grief. You're brilliant at what you do, and I respect that. I admire that, and that's the primary reason that I wanted you on the show to speak to you, to highlight
back
these kind
at
of
you.
things. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Another Sunday gone by. Like I said, we're on social media everywhere. We've got a website at themervbrittoshow.com. Leave us a comment. Like, share, subscribe. But leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Get involved. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear more of you. Get involved. We're going to have some more guests. I'm going to do a show without a guest next week. We just want to have a good time. We want to have a laugh. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to educate people with some kind of a direction. I said earlier, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
So this show is about education with a purpose. Ayesha Barretto, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you
Ladies
for
and
having me.
gentlemen, Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I said thank you for having me. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is not the first and only time. You will definitely be back.
Definitely going to come gate crash a couple of your shows.
As always, we will see you next Sunday on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Merv Barretto Show. Take care of each other and take care of yourselves.